All right. Good Saturday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Saturday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. You see by the screen that I am, well, the scene that I'm showing right now. May is officially Hurricane Preparedness Month. It was talked about like a week ago, but I'm finally just getting to it now. But it is officially Hurricane Preparedness Month, and so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about some things that you should prepare for when you get into obviously hurricane season. So we're gonna do that, but first, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button as well. Share it with all of the people that you know, because there is definitely somebody that has not gotten the link yet. We only have 448 subscribers. There's still a lot more people than that inside of South Carolina. So let's go in and share it to them, and even outside of South Carolina as well. But let's go on and talk with the recorded audience for the people who could unfortunately not be here tonight. Good Saturday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Saturday. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. Looking at the radar first, we do have some rain going on out of South Carolina, Chesterfield, Kershaw, Camden, as well as Sumter, Manning, as well as up there in Bennettville, Society Hill, and Hartsville as well. We also do have some rain going on in Spartanburg, Union, Gaffney, and Chester, South Carolina, or at least in the vicinity of those regions. If we go on and talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States, we do have some rain going on all the way in Atlanta, going on over inside of like Covington, Georgia, where there's tornado warnings through there, and then we also do have some more rain storms that went through Alabama. Rain went through Florida, going through Florida as we speak. Pennsylvania getting some rain. New York, as well as New Jersey, Ohio, as well as West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, Illinois, Missouri, all the way out here to the west. So a good amount of the U.S. is getting some rain right now. But look, central U.S. is looking actually dry right now, and even portions over here are looking dry as well. So even though there is a good amount of rain going on all throughout the West and all throughout us over here on the East Coast, the central U.S. is looking a bit dry right now. Going into our cloud cover right now is showing some cloudy conditions. The stuff that we've been expecting from Columbia, Florence, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Savannah, Augusta, as well as inside the upstate of South Carolina, receiving some cloud cover as well as we get into cloud cover for tonight, going into our future. You see, as we go through tonight, that cloud cover will still be prevalent, and as we go all the way into tomorrow morning for our Sunday morning, that cloud cover is going to push off with that cold front. Obviously, that's going to push it off, and then after that, clear skies are going to take back over the region as we go into Sunday afternoon and evening. Current temperature is 68 in Columbia, 66 inside of Winsboro, 68 in Camden, 68 in Sumter, as well as 71 in Manning, 71 in Holly Hill and Somerville, as well as 71 in Moncks Corner and Onondaga, 71 in Georgetown and Conway, as well as Myrtle Beach. We also do have 73 that is down there in Kiowa Island, 73 in Beaufort and Ridgeland, as well as 71 in Allendale. We even have 68 in Aiken, 60 in Greenwood, 64 in Greenville, as well as 66 in Spartanburg and Gaffney, 66 in Rock Hill and York as well. Low temperatures for tonight, 58 in Greenville, 59 in Spartanburg, 57 in Anderson, 58 in Lawrence and Greenwood, as well as 60 in Newberry and Rock Hill, 61 in Winsboro, as well as 62 in Columbia, 61 in Aiken, as well as 63 in Orangeburg, 70 in Charleston, and 65 inside of Georgetown, 67 in Myrtle Beach, and 69 in Hilton Head Island. In terms of your rainfall for tonight, good amount of rainfall, from around a quarter of an inch to a half an inch for like Greenville, Anderson, Rock Hill, even Newberry, as well as Aiken, and then Sumter as well, all inside that quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Even Charleston is also included in there, and then you have half an inch to an inch for Barnwell, Orangeburg, even Walterboro, as well as Kingstree, Florence, Dillon, and Chirac, Camden, as well as Winnsboro, all inside that half an inch to an inch. And then we have an inch to a half an inch for places like Moncks Corner, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, and maybe even 2 inches possible inside of Horry County as well as we go into tomorrow evening. So a good amount of rainfall is expected, and I do believe that most of that rainfall will happen tonight, as we currently still do have a lot of rainfall going on. Obviously, we talked about it through Hartsville, up there towards Gaffney and Chesterfield as well, and even Florence. About to get in on some rain as well. So this will go into the overnight hours mainly, and this is when we're also going to see maybe a little bit of a minor flooding threat. I think mainly it's going to be heavy rain threat, 100% heavy rain, but some isolated minor flooding is not out the question for some. Now let's go on and talk about our severe weather. Starting off, this is Friday right here. Let me go on and get Saturday up here real quick. Saturday is the same. I believe Saturday is, no, this is Sunday right here. Saturday I showed it, but it actually just updated, and I usually wait until they update it, which they usually do. This is not South Carolina, but you can kind of see it down there inside of South Carolina. We have that slight risk of severe weather that still is possible as we go into like places like Clemson as well as Anderson. That is mainly for a 15% risk of damaging winds. That still is in effect for tonight. And then also a 2% chance of tornadoes is still in effect. So some of these storms, if they get to a point to where they start spinning, maybe an isolated tornado and even some hail as well. Some hail is also possible as well. Luckily, right now, it doesn't seem like much is going on. We do have a little special weather statement up here for Fairplay and Townville, South Carolina. But that right now, that is for 50 mile per hour winds up there. About to move into South Carolina and there still probably are some storms going on as well up there inside the upstate. If you go on and look at the lightning probability, you can see right here that we do have, a chance. You see the purple, that's a 93% chance, so it's definitely storming up here near Lawrence, Clinton, and Jonesville, South Carolina. And then over here, 70%, so likely storming near Cheraw and Bennettsville as well. And then that's it there. Let's go on now and talk about our future. Let's talk about the short-term future first. Then we'll go on and talk about our long-term future. But first off, here we go. Time is in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure that you go on and keep a look at that as we go on and push this forward. Going into 9 o'clock p.m. Here we go right there. You can see that we do have, obviously the rain going on. That was predicted. That rain will definitely intensify as we get later into the night. And heavy rain will continue, enter through the low country, the PD region by around 12 to 2 a.m. And as you continue through, look at this, 7 o'clock in the morning, it gets dry tomorrow morning. And maybe some isolated showers possible through the low country and the PD region tomorrow morning, like late tomorrow morning, going into the early afternoon hours, maybe even going to around 4 to 5 p.m., maybe even 6 p.m. as well. But as we continue this, even into 9 to 11 p.m. So overall, the coastal region will definitely still see a chance for some isolated thunderstorms as we go into tomorrow as well. And as we go into May the 5th as well, seems like most of that rainfall will move out. So really the only places that I'd be watching for rain tomorrow during the daytime is low country, coastal low country especially, and even the PD region as well, and even in some inland regions as well. Going into the GFS, this is obviously the long-term model. This goes around 300 to 400 hours in the future. So as you can see here, as we go in and push this forward, here's around 8 a.m. right here, May the 5th. Still, looking dry like we thought, and then maybe some more rain around May the 7th and May the 8th. May the 9th and the 10th look a bit drier, at least May the 10th does. Then a little bit of a little coastal just disturbance as we go into around May the 11th and May the 12th. as well, and maybe even May the 14th, going into the 15th, all the way through until finally a little bit of a dry period going into the 18th and the 20th. So, like we've been talking about these past couple of days, this active rainfall or this active rain activity is still in full fledged as we continue through the next 300 to 400 hours. As we go on next and talk about the crazy school, we are at a 65 for tonight. Not really surprising. Strong storms, heavy rain, snow, or wind, and strong storms are about to occur in portion of the upstate as well, and definitely heavy rain as we go into tonight. So this is definitely warranted for the strong category. Not quite severe. I could see maybe if it was a low, kind of like a low, like 71 severe, like at the max, because obviously that severe threat is still there. And I do believe we did get, I do believe that we did get some severe thunderstorm warnings today. So we did get some warnings today. I do want to see if there was any sort of damage or anything like that for the state, just to see if any of the severe storms verified or anything like that. And from what I can see right now, as it is sitting there waiting to load, so you know what, we're going to actually just go in and skip over that. Nope, it actually just popped up. Alright, right here you can see on your screen, this is all the storm reports that we've gotten for today. Up here, just to the north of Greenwood, there was sustained damage to siding, patio furniture, bent flagpoles, and multiple tree limbs down. That was inside of Waterloo, South Carolina, and Lawrence County. And then we have a hail report down here inside of Rivers, or near Rivers Bridge in Bamberg County. That seems to be quarter size, so that's severe. That is indeed severe. So definitely severe category. May have been needed. May have been needed this morning. But that's it in terms of our damage reports. Let's go on real quick and talk about the reason why I put this picture right here up at the beginning, because we talk about May is officially Hurricane Preparedness Month. If you did not know, I think it was around April the 22nd, South Carolina officially declared May Hurricane Preparedness Month. That's pretty much just for our just preparations and making sure that everyone knows inside the state of South Carolina just how important it is to prepare for our future hurricane season that's coming in around less than a month. We are less than a month away from hurricane season, and here's just the reading thing that they have. They just said, Governor Henry McMaster has declared May as South Carolina's Hurricane Preparedness Month, as well as the South Carolina Emergency Management Division, county emergency managers, and National Weather Service, and all members urge communities and businesses to start preparing for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season ahead of time. Designating May as Hurricane Preparedness Month provides South Carolinians with ample time to take necessary precautions and to stay informed about the potential risk across the state. There's also Know Your Zone. Instead of South Carolina state and local officials issue hurricane evacuation based on zones in coastal counties. Know your hurricane evacuation zones instantly, which you can download an app for that. Prepare your home. Do a safety check of your home. Ensure it's prepared to withstand the effects of hurricanes. Schedule a roof inspection. Double check your hurricane shutters. And review your insurance policies to ensure they cover the types of damages that hurricanes can cause. Create a list and take photos of your belongings for documentation, and review your insurance policies now to make sure that they cover all of your needs. And then also remember your route. Knowing the closest hurricane evacuation route before the start of hurricane season is important. Once you identify your route, remember it and then follow it during evacuation. Rely on the blue hurricane evacuation sign rather than GPS for the most accurate and reliable guidance. South Carolina is one of the most vulnerable states to hurricanes and tropical storms, with 6 coastal counties bordering the Atlantic Ocean and 180 miles of coastline. The state's densely populated coastal areas, especially during peak tourist season, combined with low elevation, pose a significant safety risk. Hurricanes can cause widespread damage throughout the state. Storm surge and flooding are the most dangerous and destructive hazards associated with tropical storms and hurricanes. High winds and tornadoes can also occur and cause damage to homes and buildings. In 2024, Hurricane Helene became the most recent hurricane to impact South Carolina, causing a statewide event with 21 tornadoes, downed trees, and widespread power outages all throughout, especially up there in the upstate of South Carolina. Other hurricanes that have affected the Palmetto State, obviously, is Matthew, Irma, Florence, Dorian, and Ian, and Idalia and Debbie as well. All of it in recent memory. But that's pretty much all that they have on here. Also, one thing that they did not mention at all was checking your gutters as well, making sure that they're clean. Also, make sure that you go on and trim any trees back. Trees next to the house obviously can bang on your house and potentially damage it even more. So make sure you cut the trees back away, and obviously know your evacuation route as well. And obviously, outdoor furniture needs to be secured if you cannot bring them inside. But that is it in terms of just a little update there in terms of hurricane season now having its official preparedness month being May this month now, going all the way until May the 31st, and then June the 1st obviously being the big day of hurricane season, where we'll talk about our summer forecast and our hurricane season forecast as well. And then even the week of June the 1st through the 7th as well, because that's actually a Sunday. But that's it there in terms of that. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Thad says, good evening. I hope all is well. Another awesome day here in Central Texas. That is good. Great to hear. My name says, hello, Jay. Hello to you. Trail says, hi, just hello to you as well. And that's it. Also make sure that you go on and vote inside the poll, inside the chat. Are you preparing for hurricane season? Only 17% says yes. We got to get that number up higher than that. We got to get that number up way higher than that. We can not only have 17% of people preparing for hurricane season, but I do have faith because 83% says no, not yet, but I will. Please get them done early so you won't have to worry about it and then you have to rush and do all that stuff. Please just get it done now so you won't have to later. And then next thing you know, you turned out not prepared and something happens, So you just gotta get that stuff done early and not procrastinate. But that's it in terms of the live chat. So let's go on now and talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. Then we'll go on and talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States, just news-wise. And then we'll also talk about what's going to happen tomorrow with our Sunday forecast tomorrow evening for South Carolina. But let's talk about San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. If you don't know why we do San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia, because we have people watching from those areas. So I decided let's go on and cover them. It only takes like 2 minutes tops to cover all three of them. So I just decided it wouldn't be that much of a pain to just do them. Now looking at San Antonio first, low temperatures tonight 58, high temperatures tomorrow 81, low temperatures tomorrow night at 65, no precipitation expected tonight nor tomorrow. And then Raleigh, low temperatures tonight 65 with thunderstorms, obviously a marginal risk of severe weather for hail, wind, and maybe an isolated tornado. Tomorrow, high temperatures 79, low temperatures tomorrow night at 60. Showers are expected tomorrow during the day, and then a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Going into Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight 64, high temperatures tomorrow 74, low temperatures tomorrow night at 62. We have severe thunderstorms tonight, and then precipitation tomorrow. Seems like during the day showers, and the showers are likely tomorrow night. So that's what's happening there in terms of all three locations. In terms of severe weather, obviously we talked about Raleigh already. So we already know Raleigh's under that marginal risk of severe weather. Philadelphia also has a slight risk of severe weather, as well as for wind again. And then as we get into tomorrow, Sunday, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather that goes into Raleigh as well. And then day 3, almost making it to Philadelphia, but not quite. But I do believe San Antonio is under a marginal risk of severe weather going into Monday as well. So definitely have to watch out for some isolated severe storms on Monday. And then excessive rainfall being the last bit. Philadelphia and Raleigh both have a minor risk of flooding tonight. Philadelphia does tomorrow. San Antonio and Philadelphia has another risk on Monday. San Antonio, no, never mind, nobody on Tuesday, and then nobody on Wednesday either. I did forget to talk about the severe weather for South Carolina tomorrow as well. Marginal risk of severe weather for pretty much the entire low country, and then the PD region, that's for wind and most likely hail. If I was to guess, yes, it is. And then nothing for Monday. Monday's looking like, it's going to be a pretty calm in terms of thunderstorm day. So now let's go on and talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States. Severe thunderstorms are expected from Central Texas to Middle Tennessee and Kentucky this afternoon into tonight. Large hail and damaging winds are the main threat. Heavy to excessive rainfall may produce areas of flooding today and tonight from Central Texas into the lower Mississippi Valley. And then, other than that, that's about all. Maybe some red flag warnings, meaning some fire conditions in eastern Montana and North Dakota. Some wind going on out there in the west as well. And down here inside of Illinois, Indiana, and places like that, they do have a risk for some gusty thunderstorms, small hail, and all that kind of stuff. But that's it in terms of the entire U.S. Let's go on and look at the chat one more time. I don't see anything else, so I'm going to assume that is all for tonight. If you did enjoy, make sure that you go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the share button as well. You can see that we do have, our thunderstorms have kind of intensified a little bit. You can see 95% chance of a thunderstorm through Gaffney and Union right now, and also over here towards Walhalla and Seneca as well, as some more severe or some more strong thunderstorms are going through at 50 miles per hour. I'm about to go through Greenville soon, in around like the next 30 minutes or so. So if you're up there in that area, make sure that you're watching for that for about like the next 30 minutes or so. But I will be back tomorrow morning with your Sunday morning forecast update. Make sure that you're here tomorrow night, because we will be talking about the first full week of May the 4th, all the way through May the 10th. May the 4th all the way through May the 10th. That will be going on tomorrow evening. Make sure that you're there so you can go on and know the weather for this week as well.